issues.
I mean, I'm good now.
Hey, it's Fist. How are you doing, Fist? Oh, I just got your notif.
Oh, I'm gonna eat this
Everything's
pizza real quick.
working good. I'm just gonna have my phone right here. I guess I can check my YouTube here in a bit. Fist, can you tell me if the music's too loud? That'd be nice. If you could tell me that. Shouldn't be too loud. I'm not that close to my phone. But my phone likes being a little demon sometimes and being louder than what's perceived. Like how it says it's church music, but it's good for me. Got it. It's good for you, it's good for me. Just checking stuff. Looks like Archie's gonna be back from what he just got done saying. So, to kick off introductions, this is another collaboration stream. Often what Archie and I do, every so often, between posting videos of other content. As it's titled, Future, Past, and Present, that's going to mean that we are going to talk about onigiri, what we perceive is going to happen for the future of this particular community and onigiri as a whole, how onigiri was in the past, and how onigiri currently is in the present. So far, we're going to start off with the future. Now, how I think the future of onigiri is going to go is really simple. A lot of people are curious as to whether or not they're going to shut down our particular server or any of the PS4 servers for that matter. With the arrival of the PS5, it does seem kind of imminent that they might do something like that. But I'm here to say that it's nothing really to worry about. Only because of the fact that it's easily portable between PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. There's nothing really transferable that would be too difficult to transfer or could be transferred, is what I'm saying. Considering how a lot more people are probably going to get PlayStation 5s, how Xbox One was a failure with a lot of its stuff, we may, if Onigiri does go over to the PlayStation 5, that is, we may get a lot more Onigiri traffic for the NA server, JP server obviously, and any other server that happens to still be on PlayStation. This would be really good for all of us and for the good of the onigiri community. The future for the onigiri community also, I perceive its overall populace to be a lot nicer to each other. So as far as we people of the present do make the onigiri players of the future to be kind people. If we fail in doing that, then the community is just going to become toxic again. Which kind of now lets me push over to Archie's side of what he thinks is going to happen in Onigiri's future.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Onigiri's future is already basically kind of like told us what it's gonna do. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can obviously still transfer to one thing to another. Like, yes, it's easy transferable, but in the same sense, they could be making another game. Like, better up to speed to keep up with the PlayStation 5 momentum. Like, the PlayStation 5 already has hype and also disc behind it. So obviously you're going to know that PlayStation 5, the whole company that built PlayStation 5 is gonna want to have like a certain amount of games already free and ready and have a lot of big fan base on it. So like Apex or Fortnite, depending on when PlayStation 5 comes out. So if PlayStation 5 comes out right now, obviously you're gonna look at the charts and you'll be like, oh, I'm putting Fortnite on here. They're gonna make us money. We're gonna get split profits or whatever contract they do. And then the same thing with Apex. And you know, because basically, if I'm correct about this, and tell me if I'm wrong, Vlex, that the company that builds PlayStation is also the one that maintains the PlayStation Network. So they're gonna be the ones continuously putting up certain video games and take it off the shelves and stuff like that. And you know, PlayStation Now was one of those like big old hits, and even if it's not a big old hit, it's still something that a lot of people, like old school people, would go back and play. What I guess I'm saying is that if you look at the numbers, like it either it can just stay on PlayStation 4, or it's been kind of fishy to me how they sped up a lot of events and stuff, basically in PlayStation 4. And they've been just like kind of like, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna get this out. I don't know about you, Bloods, but to me that sounds kind of fishy. They've been speeding up. Like they're trying to end a series in a manga or anime, and then maybe transfer to another, like create another game, like you know, with the same company or with a different company onto the PlayStation 5. That's what I think could happen. Like in the future, for me, I feel like, of course, me and Vlex are still gonna play games and do our duo thing. But I mean, the future for Unigiri, I don't know. I feel like it could change into another game, better probably, or just the same as just the same, just new name. I mean, the reason I say that it's just like we already saw the NA close down. Xbox probably is gonna be next. Is that rude? Yes, but I mean, tell me, who's Xbox complains about it, Cyber Sector just does with it, so they're obviously going to be focusing on the PlayStation and the PC, and they're going to probably make it into a point where it's like, we're both caught up. It is now their decision, because PC, you don't really have to worry about, that's staying where it is. And people still play that and put money into it. They find it a good game. PlayStation, you have to keep up with the latest trends. And that's what PlayStation is mostly about. And obviously PlayStation's been more of a very active... PlayStation 4, PlayStation community in general, has been a very active scene. Starting with Tekken to Soul Calibur. I mean, you see most people play it on there. And even if they don't play it on there, what I guess I'm saying from there is that like you have to you keep on the latest trends to get more raking in money, raking in more people, because even if we're just buying the PlayStation, that's a huge ass amount within itself. And with that being said, I guess what I'm saying is just like right now what I'm trying to say is I'm stating a speculation of what could a stream of possibilities. I guess my personal opinion is I feel like they're probably going to create another video game, because another video game like Unigiri or better than Unigiri, but like not as great as Fortnite or Apex, but it's something that will catch our eye, as in I guess an MMORPG. And I feel like that's what they might do, or they could switch it up. I don't know. That's what I believe. I believe they might create another video game and put it onto the system, but it would be the same company or mid-same company, but on the PlayStation 5, so they can survive and be on that top shelf. Because I feel like it was a huge leap to put this game on here, but it has got some good and bad results. People have played. It's definitely in the beginning. People played and were curious, and people even now are still curious. So that's what I believe. That's what I believe for this one. For future, that's what I believe right there.
And there are some points that you did make that I could possibly agree with. The only reason why I would kind of disagree with them coming out with an Onigiri 2, so to speak, is that the Onigiri on PC is already going so far as to make another Halloween event in 2019. And it's not like it's rehashed Vanguards. It's a brand spanking new Kaguya. It's a brand spanking new Momotoru. They had just put out brand new story to the point to where it's Divine Kaguya plus new stuff. Like, they're coming out with continuously new content now on PC, and if it's anything like I think Fate Grand Order likes to run its company, is the fact that they keep giving us stuff. That's why I'm saying that it wouldn't be hard to, because everything that's happening right now, like on Onigiri servers, like we can delete Onigiri back and forth. We can smash our PS4, destroy it, shatter it in half, toss it out the window. It doesn't matter. Our Onigiri characters are still safe because everything that we have done on Onigiri is server side. It's not PlayStation side. It's not like if your Dark Souls 3 file got corrupted and your PlayStation 4 was never connected to the internet, that you lose all your Dark Souls 3 progress on that particular PS4. That's not what happens. It's just like Jadex or RuneScape, where I can play RuneScape on my phone and then go to my laptop and still play on the same account because it's server side. So if they wanted to bring Onigiri possibly to the PlayStation 5, they could. They could still keep it as a free game, and that would still maintain a lot of traffic. Because while a lot of people do like to diss on Onigiri's graphics, I took the liberty myself whenever I was looking at what games I wanted to buy or what games I wanted to look at that are anime based, you know, like JRPGs and things like that. When I took the liberty of looking through them in terms of their graphics, they all look alright, nothing revolutionary. I think a lot of people like to complain about Onigiri's graphics is because they are used to the flashiness of a lot of games that come out from such companies as Ubisoft, EA. Even though they suck dick, people still buy their games. People are used to games like that. Like I installed the update on For Honor yesterday, and then I played a little bit on the training simulation to see if For Honor still felt the same way to me as it did the 2 years ago that I played it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because I got into early second year, that's what it was. Now we're in late third year, flagship games. Yeah. So whenever I got into For Honor, and I started playing it again yesterday, it did not feel the same. It did not feel like For Honor. It just felt like a sellout. It felt like it was trying too hard to be diverse when its original story was the Japanese, the Norse, the Vikings, and then the Knights, the Europeans. That was very basic. There was no reason why we had to bring in the Chinese warriors. It looked like they were trying too hard to try and add in a new diverse chain. It worked for a lot of people. A lot of people liked it. But I know I can go back to For Honor and ask a lot of people who were playing it since year one, and they would say it just does not feel like For Honor. And so I know a lot of vets quit Onigiri because they go, oh, well, Onigiri still has its issues. Onigiri still has its problems. Onigiri still doesn't do what I wanted it to do. And honestly, I feel like that's an excuse. I felt like that's them just saying, I'm burnt out and I just want to quit. But they want to pin it on something else. They don't want to pin it on themselves. They don't want to tell themselves that I'm tired of the game that I did used to enjoy. Now, there was a couple of people who were kind of straight with, I don't want to get to 135, and then they shut down the servers. That makes sense. Like, that's a legitimate reason not to take the game as seriously as before. That was a legitimate scare. It's like whenever you're the stock market over here in America, when it does have a major crash, everybody starts selling their stocks before they perceive a major crash. They want to get rid of their stocks and not have so much investment so they don't lose money. Now, that can either end up being a good thing or a bad thing. And a lot of people are doing that right now. They're selling their stocks. So this is kind of transitioning into a present. I'm burnt out. Can I quit? No, you can't. Because you haven't done anything worthy of being burnt out on it yet. You just get bored easy. Like, you transition between your games, Fist. You go between Rocket League, and then you'll occasionally play Fortnite. But then most of the time you'll also be playing Rainbow Six Siege and Rocket League are the two main games you play. But same thing. What do you mean by same thing?
Like, hold up, I don't know. Like, for the past, bro, I understand where they're coming from, where it's not the same thing. but I didn't use that as a reason to stop playing. But I know what they're talking about because, bro, it's like you had a grinding experience. You were grinding. You were blood, sweat, and tears, and earning a lot of stuff that you were doing. Like, it was such an amazing experience. Like, you didn't have a VG, you didn't have a mount. You had yourself and a teammates. You were going through it and you were trying your hardest and you were discovering new ways how to be better or level up or figure out what type of character or weapon you want to be. Because in a sense, that's also a thing. There was no really guide on what weapons to get until you identified all the weapons in the game. If you really think about it, there was no, oh, there's this in the game. No, it was just like, oh, hey, you're versing this. Go on there's this set of weapons. But hey, I think what weapon was left out of it? I think wand and staff and another weapon, I think, that was left out. Unless I'm wrong. I forgot which weapons were left out. And then you would just go and farm and then basically go from there. That's a genuine experience. I get that. And I also get that when mounts came out in VG, here's the thing though. A lot of people will say the VG era, the mount era was one of the worst eras because everyone had a mount. Everything was easy. Get that. It's easy, done, who cares? I got a 5-scroll if I got a 5-scroll this, I got a 5-scroll that. It's easy peasy. Cool. And I get where you're coming from, boss. Don't get me wrong. I do. Because saying you have a mount and you can get carried all the time and it just doesn't matter, who cares? Bro, I guess if you're okay with a mount and a VG carrying you and instead of experimenting or experiencing the game you want to, if you really wanted to not use a VG or a mount, then don't use it. You don't have to. Just use what you have. Just use yourself and get better. I've looked back and like thought about like certain people who said they were like done with the game and didn't like the game. I was like, okay, cool. But like, if you come back to ask certain people, there's people who have like most of the elements of the game and have a real legit reason to quit. I understand, I respect that. But there's some people who say, I don't know, like me, I have a -5 in mountain, right? But if I ask some other sorties, do you have non-negative mountain? They could be like, nah, man. But what's the point? It's not really like I'm a care. I'm like, okay, so you're telling me not having all these negatives doesn't help you? He's like, nah, honestly, just got the power of the crit, the Musashi dolls, artists, or stuff like that. I'm like, okay, but you have all this. Quit the game. What? Like, I tell me, like, yeah, okay, farming can get irritating, sure, but when you build something great and make it revolutionary, like, okay, let's go down the list. As a sword user, you get all these certain like weapons. Yes, I understand. There's a lot of fire weapons. Okay, cool. I get that. I do get that. But make it revolutionary and stop complaining about it. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, just stop complaining about like how much. Like it's that's the thing. Like people want to complain about certain weapons, but don't do about it. Like besides me, you, I think it'd be Ted and a very few people. No one's really like trying to create something better and make onigiri better for their own playstyle. And yes, people. Yeah, I do get that people diss other people for having certain playstyles, but there's a line between like the right thing. There's like a line. Like I've told Vlex this. I've told Vlex many times about this. When you are a sword user, you come across a point. You start to realize. Well, there's a lot of people on points, but there's a lot of users at point. But there's a certain point where you start to realize that you have to focus more on speed and dodging, and go about like basically a hit and run tactic in a way. But eventually, like let's say you get vent skills. That's the thing. We can talk about vent skills and mounts and all that, and vanguards and all that other stuff later. But right now, I'm trying to stay on my point. No one's texting, but I have it in my head. Like there's a certain point as a sword user. You try to use lunge step. You try to make sure you're fast because you have no defense. You don't really have a lot of power. You're in between, so you have to like basically do your best not to die so quick on your team who has to res you, especially if they're in a only time dungeon or even a dungeon that they could require you in. I mean, it doesn't always have to be attack. It could be support. You never know what you can do when you're in the dungeon. Like you just gotta focus and figure out what it is. But I guess what I'm saying is, at a point, sword has to realize that you have to dodge and then hit, or you know what I mean, because you don't have a lot of defense, so you have to dodge and hit. You don't have a lot of power. You can't give a hit and take a hit at the same time. You're not like Ads, who's super slow, has a lot of hit power, and you're not like Juan, who has a universal like a lot of skills for a lot of elements. So I guess what I'm saying is just like, yeah, there's a certain point at a sword user you have to learn what attribute you mostly have to be proficient in and use. I mean, Spear knows the defense. Twister knows they have the speed. Spear knows they have the reach. Axe knows it has power. Odachi knows that it's gonna be hard, but that win really pays off, especially late game when you realize that most of these things are about to be weak to you basically, and you have a VG to back you up. But again, it's not always about the VG. It's just about how you do it. And then when you cross that line of like, I'm not really a sword user anymore and I want to become better, you have to make sure you're not crossing that, oh, I'm still a sword user, I'm still following a certain guideline. Okay, like what I mean is like this new skill called the Sasuke assist, right? That's coming to present, but I'm trying to basically use an example that still relates to the past. I guess I'll say Phoenix Slash. Phoenix Slash back in the day was kind of hard to use because the Phoenix Slash was hard to use because you have to stay in one spot. So not a lot of people use it. They were using like Tornado Drop and try, you know, a lot more multi-hit and use it in a different way. But now, I mean, we have a Sasuke assist, right? It has impact. So what are you going to put it on, Earth? Or I don't even know, Supreme? I mean, one has less negative into impact, another one does have like 50 negative impact, I think. I'm just going off a guess here. And yes, this one has more attack and buff, which is the Supreme. But in the same sense, Earth has a buff, and it's completely just basically less impact. I mean, you want to make sure you have a fine line, and that's just me though. Maybe a lot of people that did quit were just like, hey, you know, I just don't like the mount system because mounts like ruin the game. It made the game more smoothly and too easy to beat. Okay, well, how about taking the mount out of the equation, right? Let's say you do that. Let's say you kick them out of the equation. Okay, let's say I asked you to go beat Lucifer Hell. Okay, cool. And I'm saying, don't try to die more than 3 times. Let's say you die more than 3 times. Does it mean that you're trash, or does it mean that mounts can help elevate a certain system into what you're doing? Because I know when I'm running Lucifer with Vlex, we don't need mounts. We don't. But we're on a 300 drop boost, and let's just say it's like our last one. We're not about to waste that because we want to be too stubborn in the game. Too stubborn to realize that it's like better to go faster and try to get every drop of bloom, especially when we get a white brilliance or something like that. I mean, that's just me. What I'm saying is like there's a lot of bad and there's a lot of like good in the past, but I feel like we didn't like have a fine line in realizing that when the game increases, we can kind of increase with it. Yes, it destroyed a lot of the past amazing things that we had, but in a sense it didn't have to too much. Like, yes, I kind of like didn't like mounts, but in the same sense, I'm not gonna dismount because they had their use. It's just about how.
May I interject?
Go ahead.
My thing is, anytime I've played a game where you can do something that'll make something increasingly easier for you, rather than make it harder on you, that's your opportunity to take it as a player. Like Hound Dog, for instance. Hound Dog is an opportunity for everybody to get a free S ranking mount. Like, it's not the best mount out there, but it's good for clearing mobs. It can honestly help out somebody with their story, like a bunch. So this isn't like something that's bad. It's good, because most of the time when I talk to a lot of people who are new to onigiri, and then they start thinking about whether or not they want to play onigiri anymore, mounts are an asset that anyone can use. Exactly. Mounts are an asset that anybody can use, and it doesn't make the game boring. I've known a lot of people that like play onigiri again because this mount came out, because Hound Dog is here, and it's like 2 years late for us in PS4. But here's the thing, though. It came at the right time. It came at the time where everybody's faith, I guess, in onigiri is being tested. Everybody used to complain, and here's my thing. Everybody used to bitch about how, oh, we're not getting enough events. We're not getting enough events. And we're not getting this, and we're not getting that. Cyberstep, are you listening to us? And then Cyberstep's like, all right. So they started following their schedule more religiously. And now we have people saying, well, now there's too many events. Now we don't have any rundown time. And so when Onigiri gave us events that are easy to grind, so then we can have off time to do our own thing as well between this update and then the other one, we then had a bunch of people say, oh, Onigiri's not giving us any good content. Here's my thing. In order to get to the good, you got to go through somewhat you may be perceiving as bad. You cannot have good things all the time in a video game. Halo, for instance. I love Halo, but there are some things of Halo I'd rather not ever do again. Like play Halo 2 on Legendary on the first mission, because that was ridiculously hard. If I went back to it today, I would still probably rack my brain as to how I got through it as a 14-year-old kid. Okay, so it's like, everybody loves the Halo series, but you don't see diehard Halo fans go, man, Halo's stupid because that grunt killed me on Legendary. And then you don't hear the very same diehard Halo fans go, oh, easy's too easy. Then slide the difficulty. That's the thing. And Onigiri doesn't have any perceivable difficulty slider that we can slide up or down. But man, when you add in a Vanguard like Zunko and Purple Mephi, it sure does turn that 30-minute run into a 6-minute run. Like, yes. And that's the thing. That's why I don't like it when people find, they'll find, and this is what makes the NA server so unique, is that they'll always find a reason to bitch. Americans will always find, this seems biased, but America is #1 in bitching. America always wants the newest thing, the shiniest toy. It doesn't want anything that looks old or rustic or just putrid. It doesn't want that. It wants the best, the shiniest. But guess what? Sony was made by, what, Japanese people, I believe? And so was Onigiri's Cyberset. It was made by Japanese people who have learned how to appreciate certain games as they go on. Some people need to understand Onigiri is like wine. It gets better with time. And yes, I know people go, well, lag is lag, and lag is bad, but I want people to play Morrowind and have 0 lag. I want people to play an old game like RuneScape, go on their server and have 0 lag. People who have top internet and are top RuneScape streamers still run into problems every now and then. They'll still run into lag, they'll still get banned for no apparent reason, they'll still get their stuff gypped. Like, there's bad things to RuneScape. But why are people still playing it? In the thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people attend RuneScape con-centered things a year. They're doing that because RuneScape is still a game that they can enjoy. It's not something that they dislike. It's not something that they hate. They understand RuneScape for its faults, and so they can appreciate RuneScape for not being perfect, but exactly how it was when they were children. So, when it comes to Onigiri and how it first started out, when everything was just Misty massacring, fiving, and hunters, and logs, and Shiamis was one of the in-game builds, then go back to that. If you missed it so damn much, go back to it.
I mean, I did.
Exactly. So if you hate the game for a certain element, like oh mounts killed the game, oh vanguards killed the game, then okay, I better not see you with a vanguard. If you think mounts are bad and if you think vanguards are bad in a defamation of your character, then don't use them. No one's telling you. The game is not literally forcing you to do a vanguard. It's not telling you to do that. Oh, well, the bosses have too much HP and I'll waste my boost if I don't. Tough cookies. Yeah, Sony's HQ is in Tokyo. So, thank you, Fist. You always help me out with information like that. But I can't respect the people who complain so much but do so little to benefit it. Like, I know people who put Halo died after 5, bring local play back, they'll live. Anywho, yeah, PlayStation was kind of late on my comments, or I just didn't notice them. But, hi Alexion. As I'm going on with this, it's just really, I don't know, it's really narcissistic of a lot of people to say, well, I'm bored of the game because it's too damn easy. It's also weird whenever I see people go, well, this game, there's nothing for me to do left in Onigiri. I've done everything. You've done everything? Have you killed Purple Mephi using Oni's dagger only? Well, that's just some try-hard shit. But it would bring you back to the old days where it used to take you 30 minutes to kill Gakaho whenever he mega lagged, huh? Oh, well yeah, that's true. If you think your grinding's too easy, why don't you just have the login boost? Don't use any other boost. Just use your login boost. And go farm Wara for a month and see what you get with just your login boost. Don't use anything. Don't use vanguards. Don't use mounts. Just use some Edo level shit where Edo is in game. You do anything that you thought was hard back then and then do your new pampered stuff now. Because that's what I see a lot of people in present day Onigiri is that we got pampered with a bunch of shit. Because I bet you there was a lot of people when Onigiri first started out was saying, oh man, this is too hard, I can't do it because Satan keeps killing me. Well, Satan kept killing me, so I quit. I know somebody that died in Satan, so that made them quit. They quit at Edo, and it wasn't like it was old day Onigiri, it was new day Onigiri. They just didn't know what they were doing. And Alexion, it's not the point that y'all are not me or I'm not you. That honestly doesn't fucking matter.
It's about effort, bro. It's about effort. Yeah. That's what I feel.
Yeah. It's...
Well, no, I'm gonna let you finish. Bro.
Thank you. I mean, it's like, I don't know, I don't understand it. Whenever people always find a reason to complain, I was in the position that everybody used to be in, or has found themselves in. The only difference is that I went, whatever, and I got better. When I couldn't do Yagavit, Toshi by myself, I had people to help me. I reached out to them. It's not like they knew I was the Vlex, the 130 Odachi user. No, I was just 120 or 119 during Yag. Yeah, no, I was 119. I was 119 with a Serpent Lord. And the most damage I used to do in a fully charged blistering ice wave was like 2 mil? I mean, like, get that, I'm just saying stuff. Anywho? Like 7? Like, I don't understand, dude. Like, see, here's my thing. There's a lot of people who have better stuff than me in this game, but I'm not going to be mad at them because they got better stuff than me. Oh, there's nothing to do, but they only use one character precisely. I hate shit like that. I don't know. I will always hate shit where people say that their shit's not as good. When I see the people who say they're not as good as me have better accessories than I do. Okay, so what? Like, I didn't, like, the shit that I grinded for was easy to use. Like, not easy to use, but, like, fun to get. Like, it was fun farming my 3 Tempest. It was fun getting my Fusion Bear. It was fun to do these things because I'm used to the grind like that. Like, the grind I've done here at Onigiri is nothing compared to the grind I had to do in Morrowind. Not even fucking close. In Morrowind, if I wanted to get the next stage item, I had to spend at least 8 hours to get a new piece of armor. If I wasn't cheating at the game, quote unquote. If I wanted to get a full set of Daedric armor, I had to complete the entire story of Morrowind, go back to David Fryer, kill him, pray to God his triplet little younglings below didn't kick my ass when he summons a Storm Akranak to tear me limb from battle to limb. So I had like 4 to 5 different people to fight in an enclosed space. So, like, you know... Onigiri's not hard to me when it says, hey, go grind this. And somebody can go, well, what about an Adir? Isn't that hard to grind for? Not really. Not if you dedicate yourself. People have to learn how to dedicate themselves to Onigiri, but I got way off topic. My whole point is, people will always find something to bitch about in the present. People have always found something to bitch about in the past, and they will always find something to bitch about in the future. Some 130s are saying, oh, there's nothing challenging anymore. There's nothing else can present to me a challenge. Then don't use a Vanguard, don't use a mount, use only your Oni Stagger, and go into E-Beast. Do it! Bet you're gonna go, I don't want to try that try-hard shit. That's for tryhards. I mean, I don't want to make the game challenging for myself. I want them to give me something challenging. But the game is giving you the tools to make it easier for you. You know what I mean? Like, people will complain that the game's too easy, but those are the very same people to have thrown like $500 at the newest fucking Vanguard that comes out and then says, oh, the game's too easy. Well, motherfucker, yeah, you just poured $500 into the game to get the newest Vanguard so you could have your 14, 15-minute time because you're still shit at base. So, like, I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but I've just heard people say it over my years of playing the game, and it's just making me weird, like, perceivably annoying. When I can talk to the very same people like Death Step, and they'll be like, yeah, man, the only reason why I'm not playing as hard as I used to is because I had an accident or something else happened, you know? It was like fucking shit that happened, you know? Like, I can't get onto them for that. Past, present, and future, and Vlex is out here talking about Morrowind. Exactly! Because Morrowind is past, present, and future to me. Anywho, I just don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it when people want to complain about something that they don't need to complain about. If you don't like it, don't mess with it. If you do like it, mess with it. But don't spoil it for everybody else. Don't be a party pooper just because it's not too Bless you.
Shit.
Bless you again.
Oh,
I was waiting for that second sneeze.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. But regardless, people that need to grind.
I see what people are talking about, but the problem is for me, I guess, is that like I've sat like. I mean, I guess what you can call me as a person is a you can call me like an honest person. In a sense, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I grinded all those years or 4 years. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, everyone knows. I'm not about to be like, no, I didn't grind all those 4 years. I grinded to a certain point, then stopped at a certain point, grinded to a next point, stopped to the next point. But I've watched as people pass by, talked about it, But here's like my thing, I guess. Like, I see everyone's point. But the thing is, I guess the reason Vlex doesn't ever get on my head or ever get truly mad at me is mostly because out of fault, like, even if let's say, like I just said, Unigiri's on some bullshit, right? I don't have any win. I'll fucking create one. I'll fucking have, I don't have holy mags. I'll fucking create one. And it's not by event style mags, because I didn't farm them. I didn't know any better. But, hey. Well, that's what I'm talking about. I guess what I'm trying to get to is like people who have met me or ever talked to me in general would know that like I'm like straightforward or sarcastic or kind of an asshole. But like Vlex knows me more that I'm more of like I'm honest, sometimes brutally honest, or just honest to a certain extent in a way of like, yeah, I probably haven't played any game in I think like 2 weeks, 3. But I can still come back into this game and be like, yeah, there's a lot of wrong shit about it, but it's mostly because I've endured it. People who have endured the game for a long time, I will honestly. There's a lot of there's certain list of names I will definitely say that have endured the game. But also, here's the thing: most of the old generation is starting to fall off and actually not even be in this game that much because, I mean, mostly I don't know. Like, there's reasons, but in the same sense, I don't care for those reasons. That's not that's not, they have nothing to do with my reasons. My reason that I would probably complain about Mount in a VG, right? I'll be 100%. It was, for me, I think I do truly believe that VG period was a good period. I honestly accept the VG period. Mount period, I felt like it could have waited, and that's just my opinion. Vlex, you don't have to agree with me at all. You could probably even argue that point, but I feel like Mount period, I forgot when Ifrit came out. I don't even really remember, but when Ifrit came out, I feel like they could have held off a little bit because it was between an event, and I think that's around when Fusion Bear came out. I could be very wrong, but I guess what I'm saying is I feel like they could have held off a little bit and then put it in. The reason I'm saying this is because there's a lot of people who are waiting for events, but I mean not event for mounts, but. Again, that's their choice and that's how they want to play it. I mean, mostly how I play my game is just like, if I'm grinding to pure point, I'm trying to get easiest way possible. So if I had to hold off grinding on mags to grind something else that will help me get stronger, to beat something else. Like, I grinded my fallen stars so I would be able to have like a backup of any element I needed besides rain. That's how I feel my weapon is. Vlex knows about it. That's how my weapon is, and also that's how we try to create our weapon mostly. That it's our weapon to our personal standards and our personal, like, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I love my fucking fallen star. I also love my Gale, and not a lot of people are gonna like my Gale. I would call it honestly a spam event, basically a spam of iframes in a way. But in a general sense, it's like a lot of people don't. I understand a lot of people are like the type of people like, oh, well, people always get on me for this and this. There's certain things that are dumb, certain things that are not dumb, but in the same sense, you gotta play the game how you want to play it. We've always said that, and I feel like at a certain extent, if you don't, at a point when people started like saying, oh, mounts kill the game, I was like, okay, I agree with you. And then as I started just, you're welcome, by the way, Archie. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. That threw me off. That threw me off. That threw me off. Every time I pause it, I'm gonna keep on going. I'm gonna let you. I don't know what you're talking. I guess I'll just say thank you. I showed you my soul. Thank you. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. But like, I guess what I'm saying is like there's. I understand people are sensitive up in this game, but like. Okay, let's get back to it, right? We're talking about past. So, past, a lot of past people hate a lot of things that Nulu brought out. But the problem, I feel, with
Nico.
them, huh?
Somebody else commented on my stream. It was Nico his sword user.
A lot of people hate, a lot of old people hated or disliked or probably didn't like the timing or said that it was an easy way out. Or you know what? Just did not like they didn't get it. Okay? That's understandable. Whatever. The thing is about the mounts, right? 100%. Is it an easier way to do things? Yes. But is it a tool? Do you have to use it? No. But like Vlex said, easy said and done. Here's my point. The thing was, for me, is that I understand what old new players are talking about, but for me, I don't really care about all that stuff in general because I mean, if I'm going to be lazy, I'm going to be lazy. If I'm going to play the game, I'm going to play the game. I mean, 100% of the day, I'm not going to listen to all these other people who probably are not going to build something so profound yet. Like, and I'm not saying all the Unigiri players are below me or above me. I'm just saying I'm waiting for a lot of other people to ascend, get better, because you have the power. Everyone has the power to get better, but the problem is, it's like our mindset are set back into two different ways: new generation and old generation. And I would love to say that it's just my thinking that's like that, but as me and Vlex talk, we never had a problem of old generation, new generation. We're just each other's personalities. I'm not talking, and you either, Ted. I mean, there's a lot of people, there's certain people who don't like have that old and new generation thinking. But you see these certain people who have problems with other people, or say, like, if I bring up my falling star to certain people, I'm not gonna name no names or anything. Certain people are gonna second guess it, not understand it, or not ready for it. And it's not that I'm saying they don't have the mind for it. It's that they have to slowly build up for it. And that's the thing. I feel like, yes, at a certain time, people weren't ready for mounts. But now I feel like people are ready for mounts and they're accepting it. That's what kind of makes them kind of like, oh, well, you're kind of hypocrite. No offense, but it will seem that way because you were like dissing it. Now you're probably one of the top players using it. And what I'm getting to in a certain sense is that a lot of people, I believe a lot of people who do truly want to build up and have a better community will have to really understand that even if it takes time, we will slowly build up there because, I mean, me, Vlex, Ted, certain people that are all around us are going to definitely going to have to get to that understanding. Like when people meet me and Vlex, yeah, we're different, but we have our own opinion. We have our own opinions too. That's what makes us unique. It makes us like a duo partner. But in the same sense, I help him, he helps me. He helps me create my falling star, and he learns certain stuff off of him. I learn certain stuff off of me. We like learn from each other, and that's what makes us, I guess, grow as duos. And I even learned from Ted. I learned from a lot of people, but if like we're not willing to learn, we're not willing to become better, understand how we want to use the tool or what type of player you want to be, because that's, I think, what a lot of past players lacked, was allowing the slow understanding of what this game was coming to. Yes, it took me a while because I was iffy with mounts, but I was like slowly understanding what they were truly used for. You know what I mean? And VGs, I don't have problems with VGs because it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like VGs are just like a part of you in a way. They're like another person of you, depending, just I don't know. That's how I feel about them. And I feel like the past, in general, I feel like, I'm gonna say this very bluntly. I feel like the past, like certain old generations. I know this is about to sound really rude, but I mean, I feel like we need to grow up at a point. Like, it's not all about like what it was and what it used to be. I mean, life changes. I mean, you're a human being. You know it's gonna change. The game's gonna change. I mean, I feel like it just needed to go up, and I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, just your personality, your mind. I mean, there's still. What? I mean, there's people who like the Rift. I mean, so what? That has nothing to do with me. I like to basically. I like to go to. I mean, I don't really like to go on the Rift anymore. I like to go do events, go build a mag, or go do what I can do. You know, go see what I can do. And I feel like, I mean, if it doesn't bother what you're doing, why pay attention to it? There's a lot of old players who are like that too. And I'm not saying every old player is the same way, but I mean, some people like to complain, and some people like to do this and that, and they like to just. Some people do talk about the old times, like, and I'm over here thinking, yeah, it's cool and all, but like, look what we have now. I mean, we can legit create a guild, but in the same sense, I mean, look, have you changed from what you were in the old times from the new times? As a character, I mean, I am lazy still, don't get me wrong. But when I want something, I will create all possibilities in my mind to get it. You know what I mean? I mean, for my white brilliance, all I need is plumes and charged horseshoes. That took me a lot of effort to actually get to, basically. Like, because I was honestly, down 3 items or 4 items? I had 4 items I needed to get. I got the 2 last items, and then I got 2 more items I needed to get. Which is not too bad. And what I'm saying is, yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is just like this, this type of mindset that we're stuck into in the past mindset, and I'm not, and I guess what I'm saying is, I repeat it a lot of times, is that it's been a thing for a while, but no one really talked about it. You know what I'm talking about, Vlex? Like no one really talked about this. Whether like they were scared or whether they just a lot of people grouped up on them, and you know it's just like I feel like a lot of people just because they didn't talk about this, we never were able to grow as a community or grow or able to heal other people. Talked about this and get a different perspective. You feel me?
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from.
And I feel like that's why there was that. Oh well, mounts or that's where the new age, like that's where it came from. I feel like that's where it started beginning was the mounts, not because they were like. I mean VGs. I mean, really think about it. No one really was hating on VGs that much. If I don't know. I really don't think anyone was really hating on VGs. Everyone was like excited for Miyamoto Musashi. That everyone was hopping on our stream and say, "Yeah, that's cool. I remember that." But I mean, the mounts were like everyone's on something because that was a new way of doing things, and I can understand all points of views, but in the same sense, it's like there's also a lot of things I want to say about the new age. I mean, but old age, I just feel like we all need to grow up. But I mean, I'm not trying to be rude to all older generation. I'm just honestly thinking that and if you don't have this mindset, then don't get offended, right? Like that's all you gotta say. Don't get offended if you don't have this mindset. But if you do have this mindset, I hope this perspective, this talking, like gets your mind to a different perspective. And maybe you're probably not like me, but I mean maybe in a way you'll probably start thinking about it. Maybe is he right or not? Now is present, which is about to be a lot of bull. I think present has a lot of cocky people in it, or know-it-alls. That's just what I think. Or also they're stuck.
I wasn't too loud.
What do you think, Vlex?
Present? I mean, there's a few arrogant people around, but not as many as it was before.
I mean, what before are you talking about? That's what I would like to know.
When I first started at the game and the Rift was full of Circuit and a bunch of people who were just arrogant assholes.
Yeah. I mean, in the same sense though, like I would call that's why I feel like the growing up needed to happen, because everyone was pulling out their big old peepees and put it on the table.
Missiles are missiles. Love the missiles.
I mean, like, I feel there's a lot of, like... I feel like there's a lot of, like... I don't know how to explain it, like... Old school had brought up the PPs and then grew up, and then the new schools, they're not arrogant, but they feel like they know it all. I mean, that's just me. I feel like... And, I mean... I know this is about to sound like a bit... I mean, like, I'm being an asshole, but, like... A lot of people... They're not, like, trying to take time to know one class anymore. And maybe that's just me. Maybe they don't need to. Maybe there's a lot of people who can just get that, get that mindset quick, you know? I know this is about to sound like a bit. I mean, like, I'm being an asshole, but, like, a lot of people... They're not, like, trying to take time to know one class anymore. And maybe that's just me. Maybe there's a lot of people who can just get that mindset quick, you know? 'Cause, I mean, like, and I feel like that's just me, you know? Like that's just me. Like I feel like people it was like, oh, this is my class. I know it, easy peasy, done. Well, I feel like you should take longer a little bit sometimes to know your class. But if you're good and you maybe just a talented person, have talent, or have a good, you're a talented person and you know how to do it, and you're just that good. I mean, go ahead. But I mean, just to me, I feel like a lot of people don't spend time on one class and learn it and everything because there's a lot of errors that's been happening. I've called it out, certain thing. I've called it out, but I don't know. Maybe people.
There was that period of silence I was trying to figure out.
So repeat that, Archie. Vlex was too loud. Vlex with the rest. Let's stop with the rockets. Never. Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess.
Nika was also using rockets.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like people don't take a lot of time into like learning more about the game, learning more about the class. I mean, what do I know though? I haven't talked to everyone. I haven't like actually said that, but I mean, I read some bios. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, there was some people that I guess could be perceived as arrogant in this modern day onigiri, but like, no, no, they're still old generation though. The people that I do find that are arrogant are all old gens. Before they run into a new generation player that's arrogant. And when they do, and then they see me do the damage I do, they hop off their almighty I am strong off. So, you know, just takes a experience to humble them. That's all it takes.
No, I don't know. Some people just don't learn. That's how I feel. Sometimes some people don't really learn. Like you can teach them. They're like, okay, cool. I was wrong in this department, but I was not wrong in this other department. And I'm like, okay. I mean, let me ask you, what? So you tell them, like, so you don't feel present? I mean, yeah, present. Did I say present? Zero Kronos is present, right? Or no, I mean, new.
Y'all stay, dude.
Don't say y'all. Don't say y'all. I'm my own generation. Fuck it. I'm my own generation, sir.
I'm new gen, dude.
I'm
been around since way before me.
I am my own gen, sir.
Sorry, you're part of the old generation. You're part of the y'all's generation, from what I understand. He has been around since King Sandman. King Sandman's old too. So I mean, like King Sandman, like a bunch of people are old, like you, King Sandman. We have Hinata. You're old gen too. That would be old gen. Hirai was old gen. Still is old gen if it decides to come back. Goro's old gen, Lyra's old gen. Like I know more old generation players than I do new.
That is very true. But have you even said it yourself that like you don't really like well, I forgot. Oh my god, bro! I'm just trying to do a stream. Things are bothering me. Anyway, okay, so Okay, let's get back to present talk. So present talk would mostly be like, I feel. I guess okay. This is what I'm gonna try to say. Is that yes? What I said was probably rude, but I feel like at a certain degree, do you think it's honest? Because we're talking. So all our talks technically are present because you know it's here. Anyway, what do you think? What do you disagree with some things I said?
That some people are arrogant.
No, my whole chat, the whole thing. I mean, let's take past and present. Do you disagree with any of it?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't here for a lot of Onigiri's past. There's a good chunk that I missed. I mean, I have my own story from start to finish now. No, what am I on PS4? Oh, I don't know. I would just assume that you're an old generation player and I'm a Onigiri. And I'm a play
Rip.
Nico. But there's just a lot of people.
I feel like
Onigiri's just strange.
I feel like sometimes there are certain people who are too sensitive. Whether they are the bully or not the bully. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I do feel like some people are too Nico. But I think there's a lot of people who can be arrogant. Some people who aren't. I don't know. It's just some people can be super. I don't know. It's different with everybody. Like I know some people who aren't sensitive when it comes to you telling them their build is trash. But the moment you tell them that they may never get good at the game if they don't apply themselves, then they start getting really sensitive about the subject. So everybody has their different soft spot that just hits them the wrong way, I guess. Okay, Jay. But you know, people want to be people. I mean, that's why like I've never gotten upset with really anybody in this community. Like I can remember playing role playing back in the day when I was young and getting genuinely upset with some people, but that same type of like feeling like sad about something or feeling really super upset about something just has never hit me when playing this game and somebody trash talks me or trash talks my friend. I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I mean, Buster, I know things about you that you think I don't know. That's
1 second.
okay. That's really fine. All right, and that's fine. So I can't say somebody's not trash at this game because so as long as you can complete all the content, then to some degree you're not trash if you can do it by yourself. But you can't go running around calling yourself the best damn thing, you know? You just can't do that. And if certain people want to, that's okay. But again, if somebody gets into a conversation with me and they ask me, you know, who do you think's the best axe player? I'm going to be like, well, that's Lyra. I mean, he's proven time and time again on this particular server anyway, how he's one of the best axe players. Maybe if he's not the best, he's one of the best. Maybe that's something that a lot of people are caught up on. Maybe they're caught up too much on wanting to be the best. Like, you can never be the best. In my opinion, there's nobody that can never be the best at this game, and there's nobody that's always going to be the best at any class. There's top Odachi users, there's top axe users, there's top wand users, there's top staff users, etc., etc. So then there's that one person, I'm the best at being bad. No, you're not. There's just top players in every single category. And when somebody basically compared me to those top players, like you can be compared to them, that basically means that notwithstanding, I am one of the newer top Odachi players. Maybe not the best, but I have no issue with being called the best. Like, somebody calls me the best, fine. They don't call me the best, again, fine. Don't care. I'm just here to play the game and be better than past me, which I have. Through getting certain equipment and certain things, I've been able to do things in Onigiri far more swiftly than before. So I don't have an issue with just laying low and not doing anything, because I know things have to be done in this game in order to get better. So, like, I mean, yeah, there's other games I'm going to start playing soon, like Terra. I plan on getting into Terra soon. If the next Onigiri update is something that I can do in like a drop of a dime, if that's something I can do, then, you know, so be it. Then I can do that Onigiri update at the drop of a hat. But I don't know what they have coming up next. I mean, they could have Little Musashi coming up next. They could have Mikami coming up next. They could have Gala Part 2 coming up next. They could have even a surprise Yogg. Hell, what if they hit us with the Toshi Redux? That would be the best Christmas present ever. And nobody can come at me and say that's a bald-faced lie, because there'd be a bunch of players that would come back just because of the fact that they happened to drop Toshi event again. There'd be people who would be like, man, I'm glad I kept my stuff from the last event. There'd be a lot of people go, hey, this is a time, this is a second chance for me to make a Stelio mag. There would be a lot of things good that would come out of the event. It would be a good economical spike, but then again, it wouldn't be as strategic to place it because it's Christmas. People have already probably planned to buy Christmas presents for other people. So it would hurt Onigiri's revenue some, so they have to give us an event that's not as important. So I really feel like, from a business standpoint anyway, that they're probably going to give us Little Musashi next. Just because it's like Hound Dog, right? It's like Hound Dog. You have the option to roll the gacha. There's nothing too vital in the gachas aside from sublimes that they're not needed to complete the game content. They're just there to complete certain things faster. That's it. Damn. So, Little Musashi seems the most reasonable because she'll be a free Vanguard that we can obtain, and it will be there for everybody who's never been able to get legit Musashi. This will be a free welfare Little Musashi that can do huge numbers, do big damage, and will be able to help us with certain things. Will she be able to complete Purple Mephi just by herself? Probably not, because she's not big Musashi, but Little Musashi should be able to do some damage to a lot of the bosses around. People thought Amanajaku was going to be trash, but then Amanajaku seems to be a very good, fair Vanguard. Hound Dog was always perceived to be a strong, so there was nothing to diss on Hound Dog other than the fact he doesn't tend to do really good on bosses. But, you know, it's neither here nor there. So, I mean, past Onigiri, future Onigiri, present Onigiri, at the end of the day, of course, it's all just Onigiri. And if some people want to keep on playing the game and being their own certain degree of skill level at it, that's fine. I've really put it to myself that if somebody comes up to me and they ask me, how can I be better? I'll be honest with them and say, this is how you can do it. But if nobody asks me, hey, Vlex, how can I be better? I'm not really going to tell them, just because it's just wasted air at that point. You're not going to get anything out of somebody if you run up to them and you ask them, why do you have triple waterbound blade on your storm? Of course, do I think that option is going to be terrible? Yeah, I'm going to think that's a very piss poor decision to make. But I'm not going to tell it to you in your face. Maybe you have something and you have just one free storm. Damn, like, you know, who am I to judge, I guess. If you make a Rev 2 and you never really make that Rev 2 into a particularly, or a Rev 3 just because that Rev 2 has a bunch of good shit on it, again, who am I to judge you? You know, people will still use gargoyles to this very day and age. I've seen 130s use them here and there. I'm a 130 that uses a rhyme because it gives me a lot of ice element, and I need that in order to complete, well, to at least get 134 ice right now with a reasonable amount of skill force, crit force, all this stuff. But I don't know. I mean, the onigiri community will always be the onigiri community, and I'm gonna try my best to get along with all of it. Not just of course, there's going to be some people I'm going to run into that I'm just not going to like. That's just it. I'm not going to like them. They're not going to like me. But the best possible thing to happen out of that situation is to let bygones be bygones and then move on. Because you really get nothing in a video game out of degrading somebody online, especially on this game. There's nothing you're going to do. It's not like you get paid to degrade people. It's not like somebody's sitting there and saying, I'll give you 1500 OC if you go over there and you call that person a bitch.
Would
Like,
you do that?
there's never been a particular instance in Onigiri where I've seen somebody pay somebody good OC just to run over and call somebody else a name. Because at the end of the day, everybody knows that's just straight up childish shit, and it's not going to get you anywhere. Again, the people that I don't mind with, that are complete strangers, that I will completely vibe with in Onigiri, are people who are new to this game, a lot of new generation players, because when I do talk to them and I get their grinds going, or they have their own grind going, and they're saying, "Oh man, I'm about to make my night sky," I'm like, "That's really awesome," you know? Or they're like, "I'm about to make my Rev 2," and I'm like, "That sounds really cool." Or they're like, "I almost have my third Skyrending Magatama created," or "I almost have my third Dancing Water Magatama created," and I'm like, "That's really awesome for you." Like, you're actually, getting somewhere in the game before the next big event comes up. So hopefully you'll be strong enough so when the next big event does happen, you don't really have to depend on anybody who's high level. You can just depend on yourself and your friends that you've made along the way to beat the boss. And there are players like that. There are plenty of 130s that are off the grid, that are part of the high level community. You just don't see them. There's a bunch of 128s, 129s, 127s. They just are never around when we're around, so we think that Onigiri's dead. But I've seen a lot of 130s I've never seen before, or the only other time I've ever seen them was during the chocolate event. But that made sense. You could see a lot more people. A lot more people weren't hiding in different channels during the chocolate event. And the only reason why somebody would transfer channels is because there was a new white chocolate Tiamat, or a white ode, and just there, for everybody to slay. So, I don't know. I feel like certain events brings the Onigiri community closer, because if you're a struggling 116 and you have your 3 Skyrending Magatamas and you want to do hard mode, but hard mode's still too hard for you to do, like say like here in the Hound Dog event, then you throw up that party bubble, like you're hoping somebody else joins and then helps you. That's what you're wishing, that's what you're wanting, that's what you're craving. And since it's a huge desire, you can't straight up, not bond with the person, at least to some degree. Like you'll always remember Billy Bob 2000 was the person who helped you on Hound Dog event, So you'll get along better with those people. You'll eventually make your own group of friends, and then you move on to the future, And that's what I'm really hoping, is that there is a new generation Onigiri community that is being created, and it is. Slowly but surely, it's being made. People that do play this game on and off, that are new players, and some old players that are coming back. So Onigiri waxes and it wanes. I really feel like it's in a position to where it's kind of waxing and then waning in really fast intervals, because people can't decide whether or not they want to keep playing this game or not. So, all in all, I think everybody should just play the game how they want to play the game, if that lets them enjoy the game the most. Just, if your DPS sucks, or if I think your DPS sucks, don't be surprised if I'm not playing with you in particular. It's just because I want the highest numbers,
Sometimes I just feel like, but sometimes, let me just think real quick, bro. Hold up. Like, okay. I feel like you gotta be on my same level of energy when I'm playing this game. That's what I'm feeling. Like, if you're not on my hype when Hound Dog comes out, then I guess I just can't fuck with you. If you're not on my hype when I'm at a certain event, I guess can't fuck with you. That's just me. Like when Chocolate Guy came out, we had a group. It was cool as fuck. And we were just there like, bro, this is easy. Why? We fine. We Gucci. We got this. You feel me? Vlex?
Yeah.
And like Vlad to me, we have our we have our own same, but we have our own energy, off stream and on stream, on like basically doing these. Like off stream, we are laughing our ass off and just saying what the fuck we want. And I'm gonna say that now because the reason I'm saying that now is because I think honestly the Onigiri community sucks right now. It's getting better, but it sucks because we're separated, but trying to get close together. And you know what's really horrible, right? It's not now. I won't say now. I would say a couple months before. High levels, we're just not fucking it. No, not anybody. We're just not fucking. How would I say it? There's certain. I want to call it out as I see it, and I'm probably just gonna do that. There's Rift people, and there's different. There's Rift people, and there's also certain high levels that just, could be disrespectful. What do you think, Vlex? Or you think I'm going too far, or you think I'm on the nose?
You're on the nose.
Okay. I'm just gonna call it how I see it. You can stop me anytime. The reason I'm saying it is because, like, it's not to start something. It's mostly just to be honest because it's out in the open. If it's out in the open, there's no reason to put a blanket over something that's already there. You feel me? It's like if there's a dead body, you put a blanket over that out of respect. But I'm putting a blanket on this because it's more like it needs to be a case closed type of situation. Before, a few months before, a lot of months before, I would say like 5, 6, 7 months before, or even probably just 5 months before, there was people just not upping our community. But low levels have learned to become unsensitive and be like, if you're not helping me, okay, I'm gonna help myself and get other people. And they learned. But in a sense, they have grown as people because of it, but switch it around. The people who do these things, obviously you could tell that they're just not helpful. They're not going to be useful. So what's the point? That's why I don't mess with a lot of high levels. I'll be honest with you, I don't. Vlex knows I don't. It's not like I'm going out every high level. Hey, give me this. Give me that. Can I have this? I'm like, hey, if I don't have it, I don't have it. I'll just learn it later on. And I'm usually just with Vlex and we're doing our own thing. And my level for Hound Dog was like skyrocketing. But when I got all the scrolls, I was like, ah, dang it. No, I just have to do this. And I'm like, I'm kind of not on a lot of energy right now because, again, I try to, I already told Vlex this, but I went from a PM shift to an AM shift. And I'm still like, I'm just basically, I'm out of it a little bit. So forgive me for that. But I guess what I'm trying to get to is the level that the level this community has upsets me because I like our vibe, right? Like our vibe of doing our duo shit, right? Our vibe is funny, fun. We do what we want, right? Mm-hmm. And at first, I'm not gonna lie to you, there was a lot of people bagging on us and hating on us, but we didn't give a shit because we're a duo. Because we don't. Why would we care about other people's opinions when we're a duo? We're gonna basically do it all by ourselves in general, right? Like, why would we care? You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess what I'm getting to is that the reason I'm bringing this up now is because like a lot of Onigiri players and a lot of people are just on that bullshit. You guys like to do certain things. I don't know whether you do it for fun, whether you do it for attention, I don't know what you do it for. And I'm not even talking about past stream. I'm just talking about Onigiri players in general. Like to basically, how do I say this? Be high schoolers. What do you think about that, Butts? Correct term, high schoolers?
Yeah. That might be a bit of a
A little bit stretch? Or was it right on the nose?
I mean, like, it might be a bit of a stretch, but no. No. Like, some people, yeah, it's...
Because we can't, I mean, this is the reason I'm saying this, because every time we're doing something, well, not now. I'm talking about past. I'm trying to basically switch it up so we can keep our, like, I'm trying to keep the energy up. I'm talking about past. Past for me and Vlex as being a duo partners was rough. Because, I mean, I don't care about gossip, rumors and stuff, but I do care that if I'm in something and I actually care about it, I will say something. And people don't like what I say, and they'll... I want to be disrespectful, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to say it caused a lot of trouble and attention. And that's what happened. And I guess what I'm saying is now is that the level that we have has went from, oh yeah, we care about people. But now it's like, we still care about people, but like, we're not on bullshit anymore. I mean, it's not because we're good or anything. It's because like, at the end of the day, we realized that like, on no homo shit, me and Vlex got each other backs. So I mean, what's the point? I mean, like, if he needs something, I got him. I need something, he got me. And yeah, he makes deals with people, but that doesn't really matter. In the same day, it's just like, everyone needs to get rid of something. And I guess what I'm saying is just like, it's not that we stopped caring. It's more as that like, I feel like Unigiri players have stopped caring about yourselves. I mean, if you guys want to look like an asshole, go ahead. If you want to look like an asshole, go ahead. If you want to look like how you're looking now, you're okay with that? Cool with you, bro. But I feel like, I mean, when did we stop acting? When did kindness stop being such a hard thing to do? Or when did it like bringing that same level of energy started like helping anybody? Like, it's so crazy to me because it's not that I'm trying to say I'm asking you guys, or I'm telling you guys, or I'm doing etc. like this. Like, I legit was 2 days or 3 days ago, I was just in this party, right? And I kid you not, someone joined it. I was like, all right, cool, you know, because I just like invent anyone, right? One time I had to go to work. I was like, damn, you know, I wish I could have stayed. You know, it was 1:30, and I said, damn, it would be cool to stay. You know what I mean? Just to like, because I was just doing an event. You know what I mean? I could do it already, but you know what? You know, you just kind of like, if you have someone there, it kind of helps with the speed. You kind of like focus on the person's speed, and you go like as fast as them or try to go faster. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But like, I was with this person, right? And I was struggling, and I was like, you know what, bro? I just kept on going until like I couldn't, basically, like until like I had to go to work. And I was like, man, that's cool. Or until I had to go do something that was very important in real life. And I just, that's the thing. Like, in this game, the reason I'm bringing this into like content and why it's irrelevant. It's relevant because we don't do that anymore. And yes, some people don't have the time, and some people do have the time. But I will say that do what you need to do to get stronger. But like, I feel like a lot of people have taken kindness for granted. Whether it be players or human beings in real life, and also in the same sense, I mean, yes, I understand there would be definitely negative and bullshit type of people, but I just don't think a lot of people like look into themselves and say, bro, why is kindness not a thing anymore, you know? Because it's so easy to be negative, but it's actually really hard to be positive. That's what I believe. Maybe other people say differently, but I mean, once a lot of things attack you, you want to just blow up and start like looking up. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to be negative to someone, but never like easy to be understanding to someone sometimes. Like, I understand a lot of other people, but I'm telling you, I feel like a lot of people will not understand me. Like, personally, you know how you're talking about the lower level people? And, well, not lower level people. Well, yeah, I'm calling them lower people, but any people who were to ask you something and just, you know, talk to you. I personally think, it's just me, I've always said that like it's like a bracket of things. not bracket of things. Actually, Ted asked me a question probably a lot of months ago. I don't remember these months, but a lot of months ago. And the reason I say months is because it was months. He asked me, how would you train how would you train someone new to the game? Okay? I was saying to myself, I wouldn't want to tell them everything because first, it's a lot of information, but second, it's not how you play the game. That's what I feel. And third, it would be more like, if you do this, you can either slowly tell them how to do it or give them an idea of thinking, basically. Create their own idea of thinking. Because I remember, I think you still remember Vlex, but I have that dancing strike weapon. Not a lot of people like it. Cool. But I mean, I used it to see if it actually works, and it does. It helps. It can be evasive. I still get hit, but it can be very evasive and like a lunge step sword if you know how to use it. I guess what I'm getting at is just like with certain people, you gotta let them experience the game. And if they can stick it out, then that's how you know if you really want the game or like it. And the people who endure this game, I feel like they could have an opinion on the game. If you don't endure the game to a full extent, and yes, that can be rough or mean to say, but you got. I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter how much money you put in the game. That's your decision. But to endure a game and get to a certain level like that, that will have to take extreme passion for a certain game. Like, I can't speak truly for Dark Souls, but I would definitely speak for Skyrim. But I can't speak for Morrowind. And I guess you're getting what I'm saying is that we have all these people in this community. And you know what? I believe you guys all have great minds. Your attitude might suck. So what, you know? But in the same sense, I feel like a lot of our kindness is lacking. A lot of our wanting to help other people lacking. I mean, yeah, it's not your responsibility, but I mean, you might as well say your parents raising you wasn't your responsibility either, but they did it. Or whoever raised you. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I'm just trying to be realistic with you guys. It's just like, I feel like if you really want to truly succeed in the community, we have to get out of our own set of mind now and just start doing it. Am I going to do it? I don't know. If I see someone need help, I mean, I'll pass by and be like, okay, cool. But if I believe this person has it, then I'll let them do it. And you might be like, but doesn't that contradict what you're speaking? I'm like, no, I'm being me. I'm being me in general. I'm not going to change myself because of a video, because of something else. I'm going to be me, and I've always said that every time for my streams. I'm going to be me. I've shown me drunk. I've showed me angry. I've showed me happy. I've showed me raging horribly. And that's what I want to be. I want to be real, raw stuff from my genuine feelings. How you feel about that, Bloods?
I mean, I think it's something to be respected because, also hello Panda for joining my stream. Welcome. I bet that's something that can always be neither here nor there, just because of the fact that there are some people who will be too kind and hand out too much, basically just treat themselves to the foot. But as I just was telling Panda in the comments here, that I tend to give you like maps for men just because it's always like excess stuff that I don't need. Like, I mean, I didn't say that explicitly in the comments, but that's the reason why I tend to give Archie maps for men. It's stuff I don't need or I know I'm not going to use, or if I give it to him, it's an amount that I know I can go and farm again. Like horn sculptures, for instance. If I had held on to every single horn sculpture that I gave Archie, then I could have made my 3 Wicked Wolf Tempests a long time ago.
That's very true.
But probably a lot sooner. Like early this year, I probably could have made my 2 Tempests and then made my 3rd one way earlier, etc., etc. But I gave it to him because, you know, there were certain things that he was trying to do, certain things he wanted to do, certain max he wanted to make, and same, you know, man. And it's never like something so bad that I'm sitting here going like, oh man, I'm never gonna get those things back like I tend to, but it's in different ways. The more I give, the more I tend to receive back on a later due date. And, you know, that's just the name of the game sometimes. Sometimes you give, sometimes you do get back. Sometimes Onigiri gives you a crap ornamentation on one mag just for you to ornament a different mag, and you find that, oh hey, you know, I got really good rolls on this mag, and that really helped me out ultimately in the end, you know? It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And that's okay. Sometimes Onigiri needs to... I've got some horn sculptures left. I will need 103 left now for Tempest. I'm assuming that's for Tempest, but the game just cuts you off because it's me. PS4 to do sometimes with its stream comments, but what else is there really to say other than the fact that while I do, you know, I enjoy the game a lot. Oh, give me some horn sculptures. I need 103 left now for Temps. Oh, give you some horn sculptures. I got none. I have 0 horn sculptures right now. I'm waiting for a good wave where we get full energy reses, and then that's probably when I'm going to start farming EB again for horn sculptures. Because at some point I'm going to make a falling star. I just don't know which kind.
Oh, will you now?
Yeah.
Universal? Universal or non-universal?
Just depends on which falling star I'm going to make. I might make a wand falling star just because of the fact that Triple Inferno sounds really good. And, you know, pure fire buff and all that stuff. No, all of it just sounds really great to use. I can use it mainly for Oni modes. That's what I'm thinking. Use the falling star for Oni modes. I mean, I have the emanation mag for it now, so. And the nightly mags also buff up wand, so that's probably what I need to start peeking at, is making a falling star wand. I wanted to make wand FS LOL, made bow instead. Yeah. But that's probably what I'm going to make. If I make any falling star weapon, it's probably going to be a wand. Because Lord knows I'm going to be too lazy to pick up an event wand from Darkfin. I would pick up another side wand. I would. Put triple fireball on that, and that'd be really good in terms of damage. Probably put like carbon flare on it. If I never make myself a raid wand. That's also something else I could make. I could make a raid wand or a spark wand, and for it to be just as good as the falling star. But then again, you know, probably want to make a falling star wand just based off of that 30% things that, you know, everything that the game tends to give me when it comes to wand. But guess this stuff's neither here nor there, because sometimes the game's good, sometimes the game's bad, but that's what makes a game a game. It's a roller coaster ride. Sometimes you get the best thrill out of it. Poison 7 FTOW on the other side. Like Poison 7, like Poison Arrow 7, or like Poison Cloud, something like that. But, the game's always been fun to me, and it's always going to continue going to be fun for me because there's things that I can do. There's always something I can do in Onigiri. This is not to say that somebody else does. It only gets worse. I don't know. It doesn't get worse for me. Onigiri's never gotten to the point to where I'm just like, F this game, and I walk off. Like, For Honor got me to that point where I just didn't want to play it anymore because it just wasn't enjoyable. And then I started playing it and Onigiri at the same time, and then Onigiri just flat out. Terra played a lot of it. When people were talking about going over to Terra, I started playing that, started getting into it. I need to get back into Terra because that's just a fun game to play. But Lord knows PlayStation 5 will come out and it'll have its own RPG that I'm sure I'm going to want to have, and I'll probably get a PlayStation 5 and play the RPG on that because I've always liked RPG games. But Onigiri has been an RPG game that's helped me get better. It's helped me get good. So, yeah. I mean, there's other RPGs I can always fall back on if I ultimately get screwed over on Oni. And like Oni just gets shut down. Like RuneScape, I can always go over there again. But, you know, with future, past, present, Onigiri, all together in a summary, it's like Onigiri always has had its particular like bad things about it.
That's true.
Every game I play has its downsides. Like, there's things I wish they would have done in Halo to make it better, but then 343 took it over and then kind of poo-pooed on it a little bit. But 343 seems to be redeeming itself, so thank you, 343. But, I don't know. If people want to like the game, hate the game, hate the game, love the game, love the game, dislike the game, dislike the game. But, there are people that need to grow up. There are people who don't. There are people who need to remember not to take this game so seriously, and there's some people that need to take the games just like a bit more serious when they're farming, and understand that when people say they're on boost and are jumping in and out of dungeons, that's not to be rude to the person who's not on a boost, but they're wanting to go because they're trying to get as much as they can out of the farm. Anything you want to add, Archie?
This stream is mostly, like all my streams, is mostly be a podcast, basically. Just speaking, airing out, whether you want event, I call it event out section, basically. Because I won't say that we're attacking anyone or we're basically trying to start shit. It's just mostly our event out section. We're venting out what we feel, and, you know. Of course, me and Vlex had our opinions that are basically the same, different. And what I'm getting to is that take a hard, long look at like what games you're playing and how you play them. I guess like if you want to be that guy, be that guy. I don't care. That's not doing nothing to me, man. I'm honestly fine with doing how I'm doing right now. Basically, just playing my game, chilling with my duo partner, and just basically doing my thing. And I guess to cut down to the chase is basically, it's always like we always said, have fun playing the game. Mostly, yeah. We said all these things, and probably someone is getting hurt, someone's not getting hurt. But in general, this is what a podcast is about. It's just airing out and talking about the things that people don't talk about. And I guess first things first is just play the game how you want and live how you want. I mean, play how you want and just have fun, like we always said. So, I mean, good night. That's all I got to say. Good night, you know.
All right.
I said good night. No, I'm just playing. Start getting angry. What'd you do, Vlex, if I just start getting angry and raging?
I'll just meet you.
I'm just gonna stop my broadcast now.